Welcome to your Monday, March 17th Power Hour St. Patty's Day special. Caitlin, Carly, and Claire. It's our Natural Heritage Day today.
Luck of the Irish. I think, are we Irish?
We're maybe 20% Irish, so it's our heritage. Congratulations.
23andMe said we have got a little bit in there.
We're going to celebrate with green outfits and cupcakes, or did we get some green snacks? I don't know if we did
we
or
got
not.
broccoli.
Broccoli. Some celery, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
We can take these.
I thought I was filming. I wasn't.
Well, it's recording, so.
3, 2, 1.
Okay, Claire, you.
Except for Claire.
Yep. Except for Claire, you can keep this
Okay.
I
on.
was gonna do the whole meeting like
I don't like those.
Those are from C2 Unconference when we had game theme day.
It's all right. So, how has the week been? Weather's definitely a ton nicer. I already feel my energy lifting.
Oh, yeah.
Other than my congested nose as a result of allergies also in May. But how's the week been? Who ran open houses this weekend? I know Michael Stewart did Innisfil. It was pretty quiet up there. Who else was talking in the group? Was it Jonathan?
Jonathan,
or
you made a
Zubair,
comment
maybe?
about showings. I think.
Showings?
Just
Okay.
dead,
I
right?
listed I have a condo in Alliston.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, Alliston.
And I listed a day before the break.
Yeah, that's okay.
And I got nothing.
Yeah, no.
Interesting.
Okay.
Absolutely.
But you're not holding offers?
I'm holding offers on 2 weeks.
Oh, you are? In 2 weeks. Okay, so
Okay.
you gave yourself another week. Okay, that's okay. Anything today? Or no, like for the week?
Not for that one.
Okay.
I also have a church still for sale.
Oh, yes.
And I got 2 agents calling me for questions, but nothing.
Like,
Okay.
yeah, okay. That one will take a little longer.
Yeah. March break definitely affects things. I don't know if people were traveling as much from what I saw on my social media, but people were definitely
With the kids. I saw
With
some
the
people
kids.
skiing still.
A lot of
up
staycations
north.
I saw this year.
Staycations.
Yeah, with March break, I thought it would have been busy, wouldn't it?
I guess people aren't traveling right now.
No, I
maybe,
think
with
people
everything
value
going
time
on.
with kids and stuff too. So
I took kids storm.
yeah, there was Santa
Yeah.
camp.
Santa camp.
Paige's kid was sick, so that March break turns into like a sick camp. Is he sick or just likes to stay at home? He likes to stay at home.
Yeah, we had a few clients that just took the week off work and took the kids all over the place.
Yeah.
Held offers last week and not a
Just
problem.
dead.
You did,
Okay.
yeah, okay.
But showings,
Is
But you
it
had showings,
what
okay.
price range?
$8.99.
Okay, so like in that first time buyer range too.
Where is it?
Bronte.
Okay. I imagine open houses might have been quiet then. Yeah. Did you do an open house?
Oh yeah, you
Kate,
did an
or-
open
I
house.
did do an open house.
Both of you did. Okay.
Not this past weekend, but the week before was super busy. I knocked
Super
on the
busy.
street.
Yeah.
Just ran.
Okay. But Kate, how was yours? It was this past weekend.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was just yesterday.
Yeah.
It was a townhouse condo.
Yeah.
I just wandered through.
Okay.
But my husband was driving around town and he said a lot of the freeholds were busy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Interesting.
I believe that.
Yeah. So condo towns are down actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of the ones that are getting hit the hardest right now. So. Yeah, that single family sort of detached is
Where's the
popular.
townhouse?
Where is the townhouse?
It's just like right by the GO station.
In Whitby?
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Burns or is it high fees?
High maintenance fees?
387.
Oh, it's not,
Not too bad.
That's
No.
really good.
That's a newer one maybe.
They're gonna drop the price they said, so I'm doing it again this weekend.
Okay,
Okay.
good. Yeah, that'll be fun to do it when they drop the price.
And I'm gonna do some tips on some open houses at the very end for you guys.
Yeah.
So how old is that house, Caitlin? Holds it.
2008.
Oh, so it's an older. I'm trying to think where that is.
Oh, it is older. I'm
Is that
surprised at the
south
fees.
of Bailey or north of Bailey?
Good question.
Okay.
It's like right next to the train track, so pretty loud.
Okay.
Okay. Not sure of that one there. And Scott, you say you had an offer date and nothing happened?
I did an open house the previous weekend, very well attended. A few showings for the week, offers were on Thursday, didn't get a call, no offers.
Okay,
And you're
so
listed at 899.
Yep,
What's the goal?
899.
Oh, so you listed at what you guys want. Okay.
Yeah,
That
850 to 9.
so I'm trying to figure out the logic here. So
Yeah.
you say Bronte? Where's that?
Bronte Square, Liverpool.
Oh, Liverpool. Oh, it's in Pickering, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So you price it at market value and head off offers and didn't get any offers. So that tells us that it should have been priced at the $950,000 house should have been priced what, 700 to get multiples?
Maybe.
yeah.
Like if you're gonna price it at, looking at Nelson, if you're gonna price it at market value, do you want to put in an offer date?
So
I like the idea because you give them a deadline. I see the point, but maybe they're confused.
It's an estate sale, so we figured
Yeah.
our strategy was 30 days previous.
Yeah.
So just before we went to market, I just checked with the seller again, and he said, no, I want to stick at this price, because my goal would have been to price it lower.
Yeah.
849, 825, whatever.
Yeah. So remove your offer date. Keep it the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't have to do much.
Now the buyers will know. Okay, that's the price.
Everyday sense is how it's
Yeah.
Because that could have been the problem too, where they thought 899 was, oh, you were listed low
Looking
and
for a
you were
million.
way higher, so that could have spooked some
Agreed.
people out,
Yeah,
right?
because in Durham, I think people kind of get that people are listing low.
Yeah.
So I'm just curious there, those people who've been in the business for the last 4 years, 5 years, when if you see a listing that doesn't have an offer date, does that confuse you or turn you off, or does it make it seem like it's priced too high? Like what's the, if there's no offer date on a listing, what do you think?
It's confusing.
It's confusing.
I want to know whether it's like,
If they don't have
if you've
an
been in the
offer?
business for
Yeah.
10 years, you shouldn't be confused. It's normal, right? But if you've been in business the last 5 years and you don't see an offer date,
Yeah.
what's in your mind? I'm just trying to get in the head of the buyer's agent. So
there's a lot of agents that still list at whatever price with no offer date, but they're still expecting more than
Higher,
the price.
That's literally the reverse.
Yeah, you're right.
I was
There is
told
some.
that,
all right, so some agents will price it at
Yeah.
with no offer date,
Yeah.
with the lower with the lower price,
Yeah.
but expecting higher
Yes.
than but there's no sense of urgency. There's no offer
Yeah.
date, right? So,
So
if you're going to be
then,
doing
yeah.
that, you got to have an offer date if you're going to price it low, right?
Yeah.
There's also like their offer date comes and goes. They remove it from their broker remarks to keep
Yeah.
the price.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think people are just trying anything.
I would
right
have done
now.
that too. I mean, if
Yeah.
well, Nelson, I always say if you've got an offer date and nothing happens, and you've lower price, okay, not market value, but if you're lower price, nothing happens. You wait a day or so, and then people didn't want to compete. Will come back the next day, day 2, day 3 after the dates, right?
Yeah.
This is like 2 weeks after.
Yeah, fair.
But I've seen listings out there where there's been an offer date, and the offer date's taken off. Sorry, the offer date's coming past, and nobody's taken off the MLS listing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that tells me that the agent's not paying attention.
Yeah.
right?
Or they take out the date, but they say offers to be presented, and they just remove the date. But the offers to be presented is still in there. They don't. They're not.
I've been noticing a lot of 2-week offer nights
Yeah.
too on condos,
Yeah.
which is, I think everyone's just trying anything at this
Anything.
point,
We're
just
looking-
to get something.
we're looking
you
at
have to
a-
try something.
There's
of
no
course.
real good strategy working.
We're looking at a
for
condo
anything.
tonight that's listed at a 499, kind of a marketing price, but not holding offers. And even in the client remarks, it says, "Wow, 499," and she's got the mortgage calculations. And I told our client, I said, "No, it looks like a marketing price." And I called the agent, and she's, "Yeah, it's just a marketing price." I'm like, "Yeah, but you're literally excited about that price in your client remarks, even."
And you're
so.
giving the 499 mortgage stuff.
Yeah,
but it's
like-
not worth
Oh,
499.
really? You put a
That
mortgage
makes
if it's
sense.
Yeah, mortgage
499, but you-
calculations, 2,500 a month. Wow, only 4. I mean, they're only looking for not too much above that, but it's still like you have to be educated because your
Yeah.
clients are only seeing the client remarks too, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, open houses sounds like it was quiet, but I bet this week will pick up. I'm expecting a lot more listings today. We should have compared your active listings, like yours from last night.
It's last night.
Maybe Santa can look it up right now too and see how many came on the market today. New listings.
It's at 22,445.
Oh yeah, so it is a little higher. About
about
100-ish higher
120 more.
in the morning. So I think this week's going to be popular for listings. Is anyone else prepping for listings this week?
It's going to be a fun week.
Yeah, I think
be
everyone
fun
said waiting
listings.
till March break is over, and then I had some clients waiting till April. We said no, just get it up right away because everyone's going to be coming out this week. So
Bruce was in offers in Newcastle.
Yeah.
For 740, there was 9 offers.
Newcastle offers how many? Sorry,
There was 9 offers.
9 offers on 750.
750 and sold for 810.
Yeah, yeah. 810. That makes sense.
810.
810.
810.
Yeah, that's in Newcastle. Yeah, I think Durham multiple offers are here.
So I know we typed a bunch of offers yesterday. We typed a bunch.
Weekend, we had almost
Yeah.
300 appointments.
300 appointments.
Saturday, Sunday, 22 offers, which is okay over
Yeah.
the weekend. So
Yeah.
it was pretty good considering, March break and it was a beautiful weekend.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, like they're saying a lot of our demand is first-time home buyers, and they're not necessarily impacted by March break, right? Like,
So did the quarter point discount last week, did that have any effect on anybody? I'll talk to Varan here. So Varan's here today. You get any action with the quarter point discount?
I think everyone's scared for the job employment.
yeah, that's what I'm hearing too.
Wait, so you're not getting more phone calls?
Interesting.
No.
I think
Like the
it's
normal
uplift
amount?
or downlift, like it's almost the same.
I think people are still too scared about tariffs and the unknown and the uncertainty of all
Especially
that.
the
The
Hudson
interest
Bay getting
rates.
shut down.
Okay,
Oh,
so
yeah, the Bay.
pardon me.
The Bay.
Hudson's Bay is liquidated.
That was a long time
Hudson
coming.
Bay went broke like 10 years ago. There's just nobody told them.
The Canadians wanted to hang on to their heritage. It's our Canadian heritage.
No,
the Bay.
they stopped investing in the
they
stores.
did.
They stopped investing
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
stores. They stopped
they closed
creating
down
things.
stores.
They weren't competing. They were just. I think the
Yeah.
guy that bought it just wants to cash out all the real estate that they own.
Wasn't an American guy that?
Yeah. So they own a lot of real estate. So I'm sure when they cash, I've seen that in my previous life here. Guys who buy businesses, right? You think you're buying a good business? You're not buying the business. You're buying all the equipment so they can sell the equipment.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little different story. But anyways.
Bad timing anyway.
But how many people now are online shopping? You think that killed all the malls and
Oh,
everything?
yeah.
Like
Yeah, and the Bay had a pretty terrible e-commerce site for a long time, so they just didn't keep up.
Wait until after the second, then you'll see how it goes.
Okay, so I'm heavily how do you say this?
Educated.
Invested in what's going down there with all the tariffs and that. But what I'm reading about though is that not everybody is.
Yeah.
So that's I'm being quiet a little bit. I just want to hear from you guys. What are your clients saying about Trump other than the obvious? But what are they saying about how it affects them? You think that they're waiting for jobs? You think they're worried about the jobs? I mean, you can say they're worried about the jobs, but are they?
I was talking to a client today. He is in a commercial, and he's in the automotive industry, and he took out $500,000 to buy a commercial, and RBC said they're going to finance it, and now they said they're not going to finance it because they are considering him as a high risk based on himself.
He wanted to buy commercial property?
He bought a property. They said they will finance it, so he uses personal cash.
Oh boy,
So
okay.
now he wants to refinance.
Now, where you fast, they won't do it
They consider him as a high risk based on industry,
because of the automotive.
automotive.
Yeah.
So, and another client of mine, he works for Chrysler. They told him not to come to work for next 7 weeks.
Yeah.
Senior director, yeah.
Chrysler's
No.
a long time ago.
Now, is that the one? Okay, that's the
in
one in
Brampton,
Brampton.
I
Okay,
think.
so what they did in Brampton is that they have Ford Bronco or something that they make there. They're going to make them electric, and then they decide to wait, and they had everything all converted, but now they want to go back to gas. So it's going to take 8 weeks to retool for that.
So it could be nothing.
So I don't. But anyways.
From our younger clients, they're not asking us so much about that. They're just more focused on their life event and getting into a condo. But I'm finding from other agents and our older clients, they're more invested and educated and asking us what they've read and things like that.
I was even saying
so-
with self-employed people to you this
Yeah.
morning, like I went to get my hair done this week and she was even commenting on how girls are not getting their hair done as much or the blondes aren't going
Not
back to
buying
get it
it.
bleached because of money and stuff. So I'm finding like the service industry or people
Yeah.
that are self-employed have services, they're kind of stressed a little bit right now, but my friends that have regular jobs,
So this is what I was
9 to
reading here.
5 is
So
okay.
if you're an older fellow, person, lady, whatever, your thought patterns are different than the younger folks.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think
So if you're an older guy, don't be telling young guy Trump this, Trump
No.
that, market this, market that.
Freaking us out.
They don't know.
They don't care.
So keep your mouth shut.
Yeah.
Right.
No, it's
I was
true,
reading
yeah.
that 90% of the stocks in USA are owned by 10% of the people. Which means 90% of the people don't care
not
less.
affected.
Couldn't care less about the stock market and couldn't care less about anything. They whatever's good for them. That's so we're all concerned if you're older. I'm because I said I invested because I'm older now, right? So you're concerned about your
retirement.
RSPs and retirement, so on and so forth. It's a different
Your
mentality.
kids, right? You're worried about
But
your kids.
90% of the people they're not concerned about this. Like stocks don't mean anything. If you talk to other people that aren't
Yeah.
in the business world,
Yeah.
they don't know what stocks even are.
No, they're just focused on their immediate, like what their goal is. They want to buy that condo. They're focused on their peace and their boundaries and just doing their thing.
Paying the
and
bills.
making sure they're healthy. They're, like.
So don't get too caught up in all this stuff here. Just look at your client and understand what your client's doing. Your salespeople understand what's going on, and there's
Yeah.
still the 3 Ds out there, or somebody said 8 Ds, but the 3 Ds are still there.
Yeah.
And that's going to drive the market as well. 3 Ds.
Divorce, diapers, and death.
Well,
Oh,
close.
and default. There's actually 4
That's what I was
DDs.
gonna- so
There's
death,
Default.
yeah, divorce, death, and defaults. Right, those are always going to happen.
My millennial client yesterday asked me what the interest rate now was. Like she wasn't even paying attention
not
to last
paying
week. So what is it now? What is it today?
So getting into the stats, I'll go to the stats right now just
Yeah.
to depress everybody here. So,
I'm sure you've got a positive spin.
but as I said before last week, there's a yin and a yang. There's left and the right. There's a black and a white. It's all you know. What's bad for somebody else is good for somebody is good for the next one, right?
Yeah.
So we got 22,324 listings as of last night, and as this morning we got 22,420 some odd. So they've actually gone up 120 or so just in the last night. 22,000, let's say 11,600 are freeholds, 10,600 are condos. So it's almost 50-50, but it's 10, 6 and 11, 6. I did vacant property. So of the 22,300 current listings, 8,400 are vacant, or 35% of the properties are vacant. I thought that was surprising, right? That's overall. If I break it down, you won't believe this, but freeholds are actually 40% of them are vacant, and condos only 36% are vacant.
You sure?
No. Okay, I lied.
Or is that your story?
I'm trying to tell a story.
Okay, tell your story.
Somebody said make it positive, so I lied.
Okay. okay. Nobody will ever know, so.
Let's do that again. Vacant properties are 38%, freeholds are 31%, and condos are 46% are vacant. That's more like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So who's got condo clients who are trying to cash out?
Yep.
Does anybody notice that? Is the condo market so-so? Is it anybody trying to sell condos right now?
It depends on their motivation. If they're motivated, it's going to sell, but a lot of them are not.
Sales themselves for the first 16 days of March. Last year we had 3,400. This year we have 2,200. So sales are actually down 35%. Freeholds are down 40%, and condos are down 36%. Therefore, there we go. So freeholds are down more than condos.
Yep.
Daily, 141 per day. The freeholds are 135 today. That doesn't work out either. But 141 per day right now is the sales per day. If we compare it to February, the first 16 days in February, sales are actually up 4%.
That's good.
So that's good news too, then, right? So sales are okay there. So we've got, yeah, they're fine. My numbers are wacky. Leases are 17,000 active leases. There's 7,000 freehold, 10,000 are condos. The leases themselves are actually up 10% from last year. Freeholds are up 4%, and condos are up 13%. So actually a little bit ahead last year. So the media is talking about how things, the condo market this, condo market that, but they're actually up on the lease side.
I think it's because prices have come down for condos.
And prices have dropped, right? So.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay, the market's there. It's half month there. I think things will pick up now. I think it'll be fine.
Yeah.
All right, Fran, you getting any inquiries there? Is your market place similar? Or?
I'm feeling a lot of attention for the first-time home buyers.
A lot, yes. That's
They're
what
ready to come in.
that's what I'm reading
They really
as well.
don't care, like they're renting it, might
Yeah.
as well I buy something.
That's what I'm reading too, and that they have good jobs, they've been working from home, saving money, not commuting, stable jobs, and now they're ready. They've been looking at House Sigma for 2 years, looking, and I'm getting
It's
a lot
a good
more
market
inquiries.
for those guys right now.
It's a great
for
market
condo buyers,
for
yeah.
first-time home buyers,
I can
condos.
just put off on
Yeah.
a condo at Young and Shepherd.
Yeah.
510.
Yeah. I'm seeing one-bedroom condos around the 500K mark. Like I had a girl call me, so my budget's 480, and at first I was like,
You
and
can.
then I looked online and I was like, all right,
There's lots in Pickering.
especially downtown though.
Yeah.
So that's the unique thing is actually Pickering though is higher now than what downtown CO1 is showing, because I think
Interesting.
people
'Cause
are
there's so
wanting to go
many.
out to those areas. So I saw in Orangeville get in the high 400s, Pickering's there, and now the downtown is even less in
Yeah.
those areas. So it's a good opportunity to get downtown if that's
Yeah.
where you want to be. Well, it's interesting. I wanted to piggyback on that. Like they're calling it. Let me just get the exact quote. Marigold. Where is that article? Oh man, no, I don't have it in order. But yeah, it's just saying that it's a good opportunity for these young guys who have been saving up. The inventory is there. They have, 10,000 condo options, and the demand is not as high as what they thought it was going to be. So now they're just competing with other people that are like them, but they're not competing with a whole
Investors.
bigger pool with the investors, right? Because the investors don't want that they wanted originally the 1 bedroom. Now they're not here to play, but now the first-time home buyers can come and compete for those smaller 1-bedroom units. So it's a good opportunity for them.
That's a good point, right? A good point you're both making, because during the peak there, the first-time buyers are competing with investors.
That's right.
Yeah.
So now the investors disappear, so now it's getting to be more natural.
Yeah,
Good.
so they're calling it a Goldilocks moment to jump onto Canada's property ladder because our slowdown in immigration, our slowdown in the investor pool is putting more eyes back on the smaller 1-bedrooms, especially in the downtown core. So prices are going to be a little bit stable there. They have tons of options, less competition, and they're calling right now a bit of a Goldilocks moment for those millennials and Generation Z type people. So that's a good thing. Right? If we're working with younger people, we were putting them off for a little bit because of prices, but now it's a good opportunity for them.
If
Interest
they're
rates are
open to
coming down.
condos.
It sounds like for the most part they are, right?
Yeah, like there's some people that are still not sold on the condo lifestyle, and that's been interesting to get them to like agree that this is a good opportunity for them.
Yeah. Does anyone have any tenants that are looking into buying now, like in the downtown core? Like, is there an opportunity now for tenants to convert? Looking at kind of Morale, Mo's, are your people's, are they still kind of renting? Are they still more comfortable in that space?
Or have we checked in on them yet?
I want to remind everybody here that we do leases as a loss leader, okay? Leases cost us money, cost you money, cost us money, right? Everybody knows that, right?
Yeah.
So you've got all these people that you've rented to for the last 3, 4, or 5 years now. You need to keep in contact with these people. These are going to be future buyers. My own tenant left, bought something. You had a tenant that, what are they doing? Buying something?
They're moving to Mississauga.
To buy something?
No, to keep renting.
Right? So they're at the point now that even though I'm reading here that rents have gone down, rents are dropping $120 a month over February. So rents are actually dropping. But I think a lot of these people are moving out. So yeah, it's a good opportunity to get, especially when they bought in the peak, right? Or rented in the peak.
Yeah.
No, it's true.
Great opportunities there.
Good opportunity to reach out individually or do like a first-time homebuyer seminar. A few of our agents are doing those. So if you guys have your tenant email lists, like offer like a first-time homebuyer seminar for all your tenant clients and update them on what's going on.
We read some stats, I think it was last year, that it took about 8 years for a Canadian who's renting to purchase and about 3 to 5 years for a new Canadian who's renting to purchase. The new Canadians are actually purchasing a little bit faster, but between the 3 to 8 years, they're going to stop renting and purchase something. So even though it's a good opportunity for first-time home buyers, the people that are struggling are kind of middle-aged buyers that are looking to get out of a condo and into a house. So they're struggling because they can't sell their condo for the price that they would need to get into that upsize house. So those people are struggling a little bit. Inventory is lacking, but mostly it's once they find that home that they want to move into, they can't actually sell their condo for a reasonable price to make that jump. So they are struggling a little bit. So keep that in mind. The people that want to upsize, they're going to have to price their condo really competitively, and you're going to have to include that in part of your budget. And it's going to be that much harder to step into that. So we were seeing about 5 years kind of a mark to get into your next house, and I think even in our client pool, we're seeing that happen a little bit longer. Yeah. You want to piggyback on something?
Keep going.
I guess the big question is, how are tariffs going to impact? Like, what are you guys telling your clients right now? Are we all just going to wait till April 2nd, till the next announcement, or what are we doing to help educate them or make them feel more comfortable right now? Because April 2nd is still weeks away, right? What are you guys telling people?
Have fun.
Have fun?
You have been saying have fun.
And have fun in what way?
Ride the roller coaster.
With the uncertainty, to ride the roller coaster, arms up in the air. Like,
Go for it, have fun.
The 90s music. Go back to the 90s.
Go back to the 90s. No, it's true. We really don't know. So we're just seeing even what Ben was talking about at our awards event, like all this uncertainty is just heightened even more now, right? So we came into the year with uncertainty. There's even more uncertainty right now. Bank of Canada was trying to give us a little bit of leeway, and we thought it would, have some sort of psychological value, and maybe it does. But now buyers are asking, like, okay, what about the next decrease? And when's the next one? Right, mid-April.
You must get that a lot.
So now we're waiting April 2nd. Now
When's
we're
the
waiting
lowest?
mid-April. Like, so there's just no stopping of something, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's our job to help give them some confidence and some decision-making power. You got to remind them about the bigger picture and what their goals are, and try to get away from all this noise. And if they have a life event and they've got the budget to do something, to get rid of that uncertainty, but it's really challenging. I was talking to agents who have clients that want to do something, but they're saying, oh, what if I lose my job? And these are IT people, so even those people are wondering about their jobs, right? So what can we do to make them feel more comfortable? Rent? No. It's an option, though. There's something to be said about renting, investing your money into stocks. There was a whole another article on that. They compared the two people, somebody who rented, invested into stocks versus somebody that bought a house and the appreciation of the house value. And both of them ended up pretty equal, after the 10-year mark. So it's not a bad thing, for sure. So that's, as long as they're doing something with their money. But stocks right now are not doing very good either, right? So that kind of depends. But
Good time to buy.
I think you got to remind them about the inventory levels right now. Sell now so you know what your budget is. There is a good opportunity because of the way that interest rates are trending. We're never going to know politically one way or the other, so it's just best to budget sort of in your own means right now. But right now is sort of a sweet spot. It could go back into a 2021 market for all we know if interest rates do come down. And do they want to be competing in that? Maybe as a seller, they might want to wait for a market like that. But as a buyer, not really, right? So, yeah, I'm not sure.
Do you guys think that I don't want to talk too much about, but the tariffs. Do you think the tariffs are going to affect our housing market expenses?
Yeah. I think the concern that people have is their job security. I don't think it's about budget necessarily, but it's about literally losing their job and qualifying today for a mortgage and losing your job and being stuck with something else. That's the main. And I don't know actually how to overcome that fear.
Because stuff I'm reading, don't educate your client if they don't care about these things.
Yeah.
That's fair, yeah.
Put your sales hat on again, right? Like, don't be, if they don't think the world's at an end, then don't tell them it is, all right? Mm-hmm. Here it says how the Canada-U.S. trade war could impact buying a home in Toronto. Okay, so what are they saying here? They're talking about new home builders. Now, new home builders they've got trouble already, so they're having a hard time, right? But they're going on to saying how the buyers could end up benefiting. Ontario Home Builders Association says the tax could be hard on them, particularly with the pre-construction sales, but we already know that's already happened before all this stuff. The risk of a resultant economic downturn, I think that's probably more than anything else, but I don't think the actual house itself. Somebody said to me that new homes prices are going to increase because of the tariffs. Well, no. I think that probably less than 5% of a house has anything in America built in it. Most of it comes from Canada itself or from China, right? I don't think much comes from the USA.
So my question is, isn't everyone just going to increase prices anyways?
Well, and then there's opportunists, right? So people are going to increase things
which gets passed on to the consumer in the end anyway.
Yeah, that's why I think even appliances. It sounds stupid, but I think appliance prices are about to shoot up too. I don't know why, but I think it's going.
Well, because Canada wants to they're made in the States, and Canada wants to put a tariff on it. Right?
I think people will buy resale more than new houses.
Because of prices.
Yeah. Activity.
So I think the word you have to tell your clients, say, look, you want to buy resale, that's great because they're not building anything new right now, so that's going to make your property worth more valuable. There's going to be supply and demand issue again, right? Mm-hmm. Home buyers have to wait for years in the market for a rebound. Toronto Realtor explains the brutal toll of Trump's tariffs, and I don't believe any of this stuff. This is a famous guy, Tom Story. I read this here, and I'm thinking he doesn't know anything, but he's a famous guy.
I have to cut this.
Construction costs will rise across the board. I'm thinking, well, why? Why construction costs? Lumber comes from where?
Canada.
Hopefully it comes from New Brunswick.
Steel.
No, it comes from China.
Lumber comes from China?
Yeah, we send it to them, they produce it and send it back.
Okay, all right. What about concrete? Concrete's made here. What about labor? Labor's here.
But I think
shingles are here, wood's here, concrete, bricks.
Just iron beams, right?
But do we send if we send some of those stuff to America, and if we stop sending it, would we increase our costs? Is my
So the only thing that the guy's not selling lumber to the States, so he has to sell it at a higher price for us. Okay, that could be a cost. Okay, I could see that maybe. Anyway, so unemployment, less demand. Okay, I can see less demand. That'd be the only thing I can see here. Steel and other materials continue to go more expensive. Why Canada? I don't know. Okay, I said this last week, right? Mm-hmm. Why are we sending steel to the States in rolls and they're melting it down and putting it into I-beams and shipping it back to us? Why aren't we doing that? Anyways, that's fine. interest rates are the silver lining, so that's good, interest rates. And I read this before, that the Bank of Canada, if the tariffs plan on going forward and there's going to be a bit of a mess, then they fully plan on reducing the interest rates to offset anything that's going to happen, just like they did the pandemic.
Yeah.
And the government's, Trudeau's not there anymore, but Trudeau's loves to spend money. I assume the Liberals still do too, so they'll just spend money. We'll just.
I think no matter who's politically, there's going to be government incentives on either side to help us out.
So I think what they should do, the Canada should do the counter tariff, and any counter tariff they get, they should then give it to the automotive industry or whichever business is hurt the most to try to get them employed or retooling or something, so they spend that money somewhere else. But.
Yeah. Yeah, I know even on the development side, Toronto's trying to give some condo developments a deferral in the development fees. So that's to try to incentivize people to get their buildings up and going. So these are for people that already have permits and approvals. So these are buildings that are already approved. Eligible projects would need to include at least 5% affordable housing. That could be in a lower cost rental or an owned house. They need to already have a completed site plan for the proposed development prior to March 1st. So these are only projects that are in the works that could qualify. But it could mean up to 3,000 new condo units. And the deferring fees is about $180 million that they're agreeing to defer over the span of 4 years. Basically, if they're about to be developed and you couldn't afford to get it going, they'll defer your development fees for 4 years to allow them to get going and sell these condo units. So about 3,000 new units. Doesn't sound like a whole lot, but it's better than zero, I guess, right? And so that's something that they're trying to get pushed through. It's not approved yet, but they're trying to look at that to help with projects that are already underway.
What's the development amount they're looking to defer? What fund is that?
Yeah, about $180 million of development fees would be deferred. So that could be quite helpful to a developer, right? Yeah, it's 3,000 units they're talking about. Alex, you had a question, or? Deferred to a later date. So not canceled or not, just deferred 4 years later. So it's just helping them bridge the gap so they can sell that project now and use those funds to pay their development fees at a later time. That makes sense, actually. 60 grand per unit of Toronto development fees. So that's why the builders aren't building anymore. That's how much it costs to build something, right? So now the Toronto's giving them not a break permanently, but it's a deferral.
Who pays it 4 years down the road?
Who pays it?
Who pays it 4 years down the road?
The developer. They'll have to go and pay it later. It's just a deferral. So that's why they're stopping their projects right now, because they can't afford to pay the development fees alone. That's the bare minimum fees that they have to pay just to the city to get it built, let alone the actual construction cost, right? So we'll see if it helps.
Nothing to do with the actual construction.
No, it's literally just hey, I want to build a condo, and you go to the city and you apply, and these are just the straight up development fees just to build it. So the other thing they could do is lower the development fees, but that's a whole different thing.
To be fair, the development fees are paid for hospitals, for schools, for
That's a good
plumbing,
point.
for sewers, for
Yeah.
all the infrastructure, right? So
Yeah.
it's not money goes in anybody's
to the
pocket.
building.
It's used for
That's
getting ready
fair.
to develop, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe a child's boat payment.
Don't worry, she's getting her rainwater savings.
That's right.
Rain tax. Snow tax.
So just some stuff's going on in BC, and stuff happens other parts of the world. Maybe they're going to happen here too. Everybody knows what's going on in the States right now with their co-op commission. It's old news now, but Canada's still beating that thing around. We'll see what happens up here as far as co-op commission. But in BC, remember here we had irrevocable directions, right? Remember, if you have multiple offers and the buyers are complaining because we're selling properties before everybody had a chance to put in offers in, right? So we had to put in there that offer dates on April, March the 4th or whatever it was. And then BC, they have a direction from the seller. We have one in Ontario too, but BC it's mandatory. Here it's probably mandatory too. Anyway, so you have directions from the seller saying, I don't want to see any offers until next Tuesday. And the only way you could get that changed is go back to the seller, and the seller couldn't change his mind. The seller, that's the way it is, and you couldn't take an offer because that's what he wrote down, and he couldn't change his mind. But now BC's saying, no, wait a second here. We're here to represent the seller. Why can't the seller change your mind just because of your rules? The seller doesn't care about your rules. If the seller tells you, I want to see offers on March the 4th, and then tomorrow he says, no, I want to see them on March the 1st, we're saying no? What do you mean no? It's his house. Right? Well, it's the rules. What rules? Whose rules?
Yeah.
MLS rules. Well, they're stupid rules. So BC agrees. So in BC now, they can change their mind. They can take their irrevocables and change whatever date they want because the seller's the one that calls the choice.
And they don't have to notify anyone?
Well, they still have to do their code of ethic things, but they can change their mind anytime they want. But what they're telling us is you can't change your mind
Yeah, no.
So they need to change the listing and everything.
in BC. So anyways, it could happen here, maybe not, who knows. But so here we still have situations here where some agents are still confused. Some agents will say that offer date on March the 4th and seller has the right to accept offers, preemptive offers anytime. You know we cannot do that, right? RICO will give you a huge fine if you accept an offer and don't tell anybody else that they've changed instructions. So you got to be careful with that. But anyways, that's fine. You gonna talk about that one?
Sure. I don't know when we talked about this last. Might have even been in 2024. But Canada's housing catalog. We talked about them building a Sears-like catalog of housing designs with the purpose to try to get more people to design really efficient housing. So they've actually come up with, I should have shared my screen for this, but we can put it up on Instagram later. It's actually 7 new Ontario designs, and they're quite modern looking. They combine about 50 designs for multiplexes, townhouses, backyard suites, as well as just detached and regular townhouses as well. So essentially it's a database of drawings. And Claire, you can correct me. So anybody would use this as a sort of construction design if they had a plot of land, and it would just be a really simple design. You'd take it to a contractor to build, basically. And why couldn't you just build and design your own house? Like, what's the efficiency?
Well, right now, I guess right now, if you're going to build a house, you got to get an architect to
Okay.
get the house and get the engineers
that
to
part of
approve
it's
all the
done
drawings and so on and so forth. So
Okay.
this part's been removed.
That part of it's done. Interesting. So when they did this after the Second World War, did it work? Did people actually design houses based on the catalog?
Well, look at
It's 40 grand.
all those houses in wartime homes in
Yeah,
Ajax.
in Ajax,
Ajax
yeah.
wartime homes. You can see them in East York, kind of Toronto.
Yeah.
So people did build them, so it's a good thing, but they spent $11 million to build these designs. I guess that's taking some of the cost away from the consumer to build them, but they're quite cool. This is like a multiplex. I don't know if you can see online, but they've got like these peaked
Like townhomes, but
kind of roofs, but they're quite modern looking. So we'll see. It's going to be unveiled really soon. They've already done the architect work. They've done all the drawings. It's all done, and they're going to get ready to launch it soon.
Structural engineer or architect.
Yeah, they hired an architect to do this already, so that's already done. They're using wood frame buildings. They're supposed to be like no basements, very quick, emphasis on energy efficiency, accessibility as well. They're also taking into consideration those looking to age in place. So a lot of people are now looking to age in place at home as opposed to a retirement home or a condo, something like that. So they're keeping that in consideration as well. Even things like where to park your baby stroller and noise between the stacked units. There's like a 4-plex that has 3 bedroom units and 2 bedrooms. So there's quite a range of square footage and designs. And
Where are these?
it's just going to be a catalog that they're going to launch, and then you can theoretically build these on a plot of land that makes the requirements.
Pre-made, right? Is it pre-made?
They're not prefabricated. They're just like a catalog of designs. Interesting.
Everybody has an opinion.
yeah.
Yeah. So they're doing laneway and garden suites as well. But then I read a story last week as well that didn't add as much value as a homeowner thought. Do you guys have clients that are looking into laneway suites or garden suites or something in their backyard and they thought it was going to generate rental income? Because I'm seeing a lot more of them happen in Toronto, and a lot of people were building them thinking that they'd rent them out and generate some income.
I have a client that just did that actually.
They built it for themselves?
They
or-
own like buildings and they put a laneway suite, which was really nice and really good. But a lot of young females didn't want it because
Yeah.
people could walk by it and it's in a
Yes.
laneway. So it's a very particular type of tenant that will go there for safety purposes too.
Exactly. So this person built one thinking that the resale value would go up because he built it in the garage. It's actually, not in the garage, right, in the backyard, almost like a carport. So the cars would park underneath it, and he built the suite on top of it. Then he went to sell it, and he could not sell it for what he thought. So he spent about $450,000 to build this laneway suite, built it in, then went to try to sell the property, and nobody wanted to buy a property with with a garden suite in the backyard because of what you're saying, safety reasons, or they had a family, they didn't want a random tenant in the backyard. So he thought he was going to get some rental income. His life changed, so he got together with someone else. They had to sell it. The partner he went with, she sold her semi-detached in 3 days because it was just a regular cookie-cutter semi-detached Toronto. His took about almost a year, I think, to
Probably
sell.
because he put that $450,000 price tag on top of it.
Yeah, exactly. So he did not get his ROI back on the construction of that, and I think he ended up selling for what the market value of the actual structure was without the garden suite in the backyard. So it's kind of interesting because everyone was hoping that was going to help.
I'm not sure if it even sold yet. Even sold?
I think in this particular case, they were working on an offer and they were close to selling. So whether they did or not in the end, I don't know. But
So he had it listed like for 1.85 at one time there. He
Yeah.
dropped it down to 1.6 in February. Still hadn't sold. I don't know what it sold for. But so whatever he paid for the $450,000 for the
just a wash.
he maybe got 200,000 back.
Yeah.
So just
But then the question here, I don't know if you're going to get involved or not.
No,
the
you
question
can.
the question here is, let's say they want to subdivide. Okay, let's subdivide that laneway house, keep it as a separate house rather than being part of the main house there. But here's the problem here: the city wants $90,000 development fee just to subdivide the laneway house.
Yeah.
Reason why is because all the sewers and all the plumbing, all the water goes into the main house drain. So to separate it, they got to reverse it and have it go the other way and attach to the drain and do all the other stuff. So that it's
Yeah.
impossible to do.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what, so the buyer's looking at it, they're like, okay, maybe we can sever it, but no, that's not so easy either.
Some guys building one here on Finch. You notice at Finch here at the railroad there, the Go train and Finch. Some guys built a laneway house, but they're kind of they're not very attractive.
No, I think it makes sense for generational families. Like if you had an in-law staying in the back and your families were connected and you still shared meals
gonna
and
be there
stuff
for a
together
while.
and it was a shared family unit, but not to have a totally separate family unit in the back and interacting with that, I think that's a little bit unique. So it didn't work out for that particular person.
Is he selling it with the tenant in there?
No,
Oh.
no.
Interesting then why that would take
No,
it away.
they're saying to sell without the tenant. So.
Well, yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's a whole other thing.
Did it sell 1.6?
So Tarion's been really busy last year. Can you guess why? Everyone's been claiming their deposits from their pre-construction that they couldn't close under Tarion. So it actually went up quite a bit. Let me just get my 2023 stats. 2023, they paid out more than $10 million. 2022, 6.5 million, 1.5 2021. Can you guess how much they paid out in 2024?
40 million.
7 million.
$80 million compared to 10 million just the year before. So keep in mind, when you're building a property, you're legally required to get Tarion on the property. And a lot of these payouts were for buildings that were illegally built. So I don't know how they still got Tarion to cover those still.
They didn't?
Those ones weren't covered at all, but they still have a ton of claims. Yeah, 80% of those losses related to agreements to purchase and sale that did not comply with the regulatory process, meaning the builder failed to enroll with Tarion and sold and built these homes illegally. So that was happening like crazy in the heat of the market, right? So under the new home warranty program, builders are required to refund a new home buyer's deposit in the event that the sale is not completed. So Tarion's here to help consumers if that doesn't happen, but it's only up to certain amounts. It's not guaranteed that they'll get their whole deposit back. But in the end, they've paid out quite a bit of money in 2024 as a result of things not closing. You can elaborate.
Can I elaborate on that?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so we both read the same article here, right? Okay, so what's happening here that a lot of individual builders, remember guys, a lot of stuff, guys are they're buying stuff on Bayview Village. I remember they're buying all the North York lots and crashing the houses and building super homes on top of them. A lot of these guys are pretending that the houses they own, that they lived in the house, so they didn't register as Tarion. They're pretending that they built it for themselves. They weren't builders, right? And that's what they're talking about here. 80% of these claims are people like that went bankrupt, right? So I'm not sure how they're going to cover their deposit. But even if there were, if anybody that buys a house right now under the Tarion warranty, anything less than $600,000, the guarantee is $60,000. That's all Tarion's going to cover. If the property is over $600,000, the maximum is $100,000 deposit that they're going to cover. That they'll protect the consumer. But they came out with something. And when it comes to freehold, freehold, the builders take that deposit, by the way, and they spend it.
It's not held in trust.
It's not held in trust. Condominium's different. Condominiums, the money's held in trust, so a condominium is a little bit safer. In condominium, the maximum was $20,000 if the builder went bankrupt, right? But anyways, it's there. So, but what Tarion's done now, it's really weird. I haven't got the article here, I just go from memory. They're now telling people that buy new houses that the buyer registers the Tarion, not the builder.
Yes.
That way, Tarion can find out who's building a house illegally.
Yeah. So basically, if you,
What they've done in the past, you're right, sorry. What they've done in the past is they wait for the builder to go broke,
Yeah.
and then Tarion gets involved and finds out. Now they're saying, no, the buyer has to register so then the Tarion can see whether or not it's registered or not, then they can deal with it at the time. Rather than on the closing, they can deal with it at the time they do the offer. If the buyer doesn't register, the buyer does not register, they're not covered under Tarion warranty.
doesn't automatically transfer to the new buyer, basically.
What happens if the developer doesn't finish the job and the buyer loses that money?
then they're covered, provided that they registered with Tarion.
Yeah, this story is more related to a product
This
that's
is
been
more
finished
the-
already.
more the people
Buyers
that-
have bought it, they're moving in. They themselves have to now go to Tarion and say, hey, I'm the new buyer of this property. Please make sure my Tarion's covered under me now. But it's also their trigger to make sure it was under Tarion properly.
That was their answer to come up with this 80% of people not registered. That was their.
Yeah. But I don't know if I'll probably send out a memo about this because I'm sure we have a lot of buyers, people buying new construction freehold that are not registering with Tarion themselves.
Just happened this last month.
It's pretty
so-
new, right? Yeah.
Anyways.
I didn't know this. Did you guys know that Durham region is actually globally recognized for their innovativeness and technology and things like that? There's 3 Ontario communities that made it's called the Global Smart 21 list, and Durham region and Kingston have made this list, but Durham's been on it for the 4th consecutive year. I didn't know this at all. It's one of the Smart 21 communities of the world, and it looks to things like innovation and partnership and technology for the community. Did you know that Durham is known for this? I didn't know either.
That's why Claire lives in Durham.
I know. It's kind of,
He knew.
Durham's really popular right now, and this is why we always tell people the Durham real estate market is quite healthy as a result of all of these things. But this ranking looks at things like connectivity, knowledge, workforce, innovation, digital inclusion, sustainability, and engagement. So Durham was cited for investing in broadband to provide essential digital infrastructure for innovation and economic growth, fostering innovation across the region, leading in sustainable living, and moving towards a cleaner, smarter energy use. So it's also the 2nd community in Canada to receive the full Intelligent Community certification. And so they're referencing things like the Darlington plant, Darlington nuclear plant and the things that they're doing there. They have a full, thriving film production industry. I don't know that at all about Durham, so I don't know where. Yeah, Alex, you know about that?
There's a big town just north of Pickering.
Okay, interesting. North of Pickering.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah.
What's it called, sorry?
Westney, right? Closer to Westney and Highway 7, right?
I think so.
What's it called?
They call it a Shaw Reacher there. That's where it's there. They're big now.
Huh.
Google satellite view.
That's cool. So yeah, film production, facilities such as a multi-climate ACE climatic aerodynamic wind tunnel at Oshawa's Ontario Tech University. I don't know, there's some cool stuff happening in Durham. They've completed the first phase of a 700-kilometer fiber network targeting underserved rural areas. And they've also successfully delivered the 3rd generation of the City Rover AI system for pothole detection. So I guess they've got some sort of AI to detect potholes in Durham. Anyways, they were quite rated for. Yeah, Toronto's not on here. This is just the Durham region, and there have been consecutive winners of this thing. So I think it's pretty cool. And when I have clients asking us why Durham is so hot, I think there's a lot of things happening with education and development and.
See if they cap.
The only thing I know about Durham is I got some Porsche driving tests, something or other there
That's
at
cool.
Church and
Casino's probably
Church
It's a
and
little
Bailey.
close to the road, though. You see, the track's a little close. So I don't know
That's
who's
all right.
driving those things, but be careful.
I had this story here. This is a fun story here. Just I'll try to spin a little bit here. So
Yep.
the parents had a house, and they bought the house back in 2020 at the time when they didn't have any title insurance. They paid, and they paid off the house over the years. They finally paid it off, had no mortgage on it, right? So by 2022, it was mortgage free. Then all of a sudden, they get a letter from somebody saying that you're behind in your mortgage payments. And they go, what's this all about? So then they look into it, and they find out that somebody has changed the title on their property and remortgaged their house.
What?
So they had the lawyer had a fraudulent signature on the lawyer, fraudulent signature on the title search, and they found out. So they had like a $500,000 more, $760,000 mortgage on a property that was mortgage free. So the article's saying here, had you had title insurance, it would have protected a lot lot more. But in this case here, they didn't have title insurance, so they had to go to court. So they had to go to court and had to get the mortgage taken off title because it was fraudulent. And whoever did the mortgage, I guess, I don't know how they're going to get their money back. They arrested somebody. They arrested their daughter.
What?
And the daughter had done it and refinanced it and paid off her mortgage on her house.
Wow, people are so savvy.
Which she never made payments on.
Damn.
Wow.
Which she never made it.
How is that not gonna come up? Like, how is that?
Like, they're never gonna know.
So
Wow.
So they took it off, and I don't know. I'm not sure how they.
She took their daughter to court?
They had to. They had to
Well,
get
wouldn't
the
you?
daughter. They had to take the daughter and the daughter's husband, right?
Wow.
Family does not matter for some
So
people.
that begs me to question: was it done on purpose?
Yeah.
I mean,
A lot of purpose.
yes.
I mean, you might think that she's a shenanigans there, but maybe they're all shenanigans, right?
It's just crazy.
2 mortgages get paid off.
But the mortgage company still owed money, so the mortgage company has to sue somebody.
That's
There's
wild.
50% of the homeowners don't have, like, they don't have the mortgage, and they're in jeopardy to getting.
So that's my message. My message to you: if you got any clients that are clear and free, and that again, this is all your Instagram posts or your TikTok or whatever, however you're talking to your clients, call me regarding your home. Is it safe? All right.
Interesting.
Interesting.
I have some very exciting news for people in Toronto.
Can you buy title insurance after was the question? I think you can.
What's the time window? Like, if you buy title insurance when you first buy something,
I think they have to do a
does it-
search and everything. I don't know. What's the difference? What's the difference between you if they do insurance on a new house or do insurance on an existing house? What's the difference?
I guess the question is, how long does the insurance last?
As long as they own it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, so, yeah.
Yeah, but the lawyer
So
would
you
have
must be
done.
able to put it on after
Yeah,
purchase.
the lawyer would have to do a title search and do all the things that would just to make sure everything's okay.
Lawyers allowing closings without title insurance.
That's the first thing.
It's risky,
Okay,
but
well,
yeah.
okay, so the question here is who allows closing without title insurance? This is back in 2020, so back then it was an option.
I mean,
But today, you don't have to have
It's
title
optional.
insurance.
No, you
the
don't
only
have
the only
to,
reason
yeah.
why you have title insurance is because the banks want it.
Yeah.
There's no like the lawyers say you have to have it only because whatever. But
It's better for
but
them.
the only
better
pe-
for them.
the only people that want it is the lender.
I've had, when they break it down, the cost, I've had some clients say, well, do I need that title insurance thing? I don't want to pay the extra $500. And then you explain to them what it could cover. Like, oh, okay, yes, I do want that. But sometimes when they break it out, they try to think it's an option that they can remove, and they can, but, you got to show them the consequences.
boundary issues, shreds, fences.
Water bills, yeah.
Elevated.
Yep.
People just used to card, when the shops were card, see all these.
That's right, yeah. Yeah, and the risk is quite low. Like, it's not, it's not very typical you'd have to use it until you don't buy it.
And just to remind everybody too, title insurance protects the title. So if you have a swimming pool that's encroaching on the next door neighbor's property, right? Title insurance will protect you. But what they'll do is they'll pay to have the pool removed, not replaced.
Sorry?
They'll have the title insurance will pay to have the pool removed, not replaced. If the fence is down the middle, sorry, on encroaching, they'll pay to have the fence removed.
They
Yeah.
won't move it.
Yeah.
But they're not going to put another fence for you,
Yeah.
unless you got some other thing.
Can you negotiate them to just buy that piece of land from you?
Yeah, you can always negotiate next door, of course. Yeah. Yeah, it'd be better to pay the guy. Look, I'll pay you 50 grand rather than this guy 50 grand. So yeah.
Yeah.
But some people think that insurance covers we'll replace it. No, it won't.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was just a huge water bill issue. I think title insurance was going to possibly cover it.
Yeah, that was the 11,000 one. I didn't read it in detail. I didn't read it that much detail.
So here's okay. So the lawyers used to be the old days. They'd phone the water company and say, "What's the outstanding bill? Is there anything outstanding?" Now they don't do that because title insurance covers all that stuff. So if there's $11,000 water bill that hasn't been paid, title insurance should pick that up.
Yep, it's true. So some exciting news for people that relied on, or was hoping to rely on the LRT. After 13 years of the LRT being built, they are expecting transit riders as of September. 13 years. hopefully starting in September of this year. It's a $12.6 billion project. And then they're saying it wouldn't surprise me if there's an 11th hour problem before September. So don't hold your breath. But yeah, they've been building this thing for a long time. It's supposed to go all the way west to Mount Dennis, to the east at Kennedy. It was meant to be ready in 2020. They had a pandemic, lawsuits, software glitches, blah, 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 tons of stuff. So they're hoping September 2025, Metrolinx will pass it off to TTC to eventually run this thing. So it's not going to be run without any problems to start, but yeah, and there's even more stops as well. They're trying to connect Finch to Humber, so there's a lot of good things, but it's just, man, it's such a project. 13 years.
Eglinton West started in the year 1999 and hasn't been finished yet.
Well, September 2025. Let's see, right? It's been such a mess. So there's some hopefully positive news for you. And then pass it off to Katelyn soon. You have one more thing?
No.
Mine's just really quickly, just things for top 25 things in real estate trends that every Canadian real estate agent should be aware of. I'll just run through them really quickly. But the rise of smart homes. So agents need to know how to market a smart home, what a smart home is, understanding the tech and how to communicate it, how to market it. You need to understand virtual and augmented reality tours. That never really kicked off for us here. We thought that was going to do something in COVID. I'm not sure how relevant that would be today. I think people still want to go inside to see the house. Sustainable and green housing. So again, knowing what that means, and people are looking at green features, so informing people about that when you're marketing. The shift between remote work and suburban shifts, so understanding the patterns that people are moving to. Technology-driven real estate transactions, so looking into digital platforms, staying updated, making sure that you have an online presence yourself. Data-driven decision-making, so investing into analytical tools. Trev has a whole bunch of technology tools to help you with that as well. Understanding demographic shifts and diverse buyer profiles, and understanding the new trend of health and wellness features. So a lot of people are looking for these in their home, so making sure you're highlighting and understanding that and just understanding what the new buyer pool is looking for in 2025. Tons of new changes with PropTech MLS fields. So you've noticed a ton of new fields that were added. They did finally update the MLS data sheet to match that. So we've just updated that last week, but if you're using old MLS data sheets, you might want to update them. There is a new one as of February 2025. And just keep in mind, some of your community searches may have been impacted last week with the new communities that they've added. So they added a whole bunch of communities for rural areas. If you had searches for your clients with those particular communities, you might want to go back and look at those searches and see how they were impacted because there's new communities. It's mostly in rural kind of cottage areas like Peterborough, Peel, Norfolk, Niagara, so not necessarily GTA, but just keep in mind if you have a client search with those communities, just double check it, make sure that it's searching what you want it to search for. And then now I can officially pass it off to Katelyn.
I won't do, since for time's sake, I won't do my
That's okay, we started late too.
Did
So,
we?
yeah.
Okay, fine. Just a couple of things. I actually just wanted to mention USAN today. Do you guys, anyone follow USAN on Instagram? So he's doing something really cool right now to find business, and I always think it's fun when new ideas are popping up, but USAN's part of the Jeep community, and he's got this new challenge for himself where he's doing, are you ducking people until you get a client? So he's been a part of the Jeep community. You duck people, and you have like little rubber ducks, and you put them on other Jeeps in the community. So USAN's had this cool idea where he's got a duck and then he's got a little tag on it, I think with your Instagram and like more about real estate. So kind of like a pop by, but to complete strangers in the parking lot. So I thought that was a really cool idea. So if anyone's got a Jeep or stuck on creative ways to find business, I thought that was really cool.
What is the duck in the Jeep? Like, how did that get connected?
I don't know where it's from, but it's like Duck Duck Jeep.
Duck Jeep? Okay.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
It's just something that.
It's a good community.
Yeah, and he's actually getting followers. I think you're day 4 now, day 5?
It's day 4. I skipped yesterday.
Skipped yesterday, yeah. And you've been filming it too and putting it on your Instagram, and then you've gotten some followers from it. So I think, Michael, you're not, is it only Jeep Wranglers or can it be anyone in the Jeep community?
Typically Wranglers.
Jeep Wranglers. Okay.
Anyways, I thought that was a fun little
I'm
idea.
gonna start a new one. I'm gonna put Trump heads on.
There you go. So if you have a Tesla, you can do Trump heads.
I've got a good idea. Get get a General Motors badge and stick it on top of a Tesla
Yeah,
badge.
people have been doing that. People have been adding like the Mercedes symbol. We were gonna do an F on ours.
Yeah.
I'm getting rid of mine. Okay, just letting you all know. Don't judge me.
For the Tesla.
I'm gonna get rid of it. And we have a lot of Teslas in this brokerage, so
We do.
we should convert them all to Fs or something. I don't know.
Something. But yeah, if you guys are thinking of creative ways, I wasn't trying to get on the car train, but more in like prospecting
Yeah.
and stuff, just for some fun ideas for you guys to get out there and think of other creative ideas outside of what we talk about. If you are on the traditional route and you're doing open houses, I just saw a quick article on a team that does purely open houses, and they generated 313 leads in 1 year from doing open houses. Nothing new here. We know open houses is a great lead gen tool, but some agents, especially if you're new, think that it's just for showcasing that property and selling that property, but it is actually one of the most powerful lead generation tools in real estate because typically it brings in leads from those sign-in sheets. So I'm just going to break down how this team got those 313 leads, which turned into 18 transactions, all from open houses. So if you think open houses don't work, you're probably not doing it correctly. You're probably just showing up to the house and just your 2 to 4 time slot and then calling it a day. So if that's what you're doing, you're kind of just wasting your weekends, to be honest, and not really doing it the proper way. So here's a little step-by-step process of what they do. It's nothing new, we teach this a lot, but step 1, promoting the event for maximum attendance. So if you're gonna do an open house, the success is really gonna depend on how much effort you put into the promotion of that open house. So if you are taking on someone's open house, treat it like an event. So what these guys do is they post it on social media on Wednesdays. So they're not so every Wednesday they're promoting a new open house. Typically what they're doing is creating a short video that just has a catchy headline, open house alert, come see this property. They talk about some of the features, where the address is, what time, when they're gonna be there, and then they encourage people to share it with their friends and family to attend it. If you're too scared to go on video, you can also just do photos of the property as well. That just kind of boosts that visibility. Other ways to get people to come is to leverage your CRM, because we all use our CRMs and we all have databases. So if you've got some people that maybe they're in the area, like past clients live there, maybe you've got some buyers that are interested in that type of property, do a targeted outreach. Maybe it doesn't have to be a mass email to everyone, but go through your database, see if there's anyone that you think should attend. More importantly is inviting the neighbors. So on Fridays, this team goes on a door knocking spree, and what they do is they go invite all the neighbors to come to the open house. Typically what this does is it just keeps the neighbors informed of what's going on. It increases the attendance, so you can tell the sellers you had more people coming in, but it also generates listing leads for you. So sometimes those homeowners may become interested in selling a property, so that's really the whole point of doing the open house, is actually to get more clients from it. And then of course placing the signage strategically as well. So at the office we have those directional signs for you guys. I've noticed some agents get lazy and they just put it on realtor.ca and hope that people come, but you should be going out a couple hours before the open house, put those directional signs at all those major intersections so that if someone was driving in the area on a random Sunday, they could get to that open house just by following your signs and not actually having to look it up. So those signs are important. Okay, so that's just promotion. Then they do step 2, which is doing the open house. Capturing leads is their actual goal of the whole thing. So by collecting their contact information, engaging with the prospects while they're at the home, that's important. A lot of agents, what they also don't do is actually prepare for the open house. And before you get there, you should be running a CMA on the property so that when people do ask you about the home value, you have an educated guess. You're not just like, oh, I don't know, it's someone else's listing, I'm just here to man it, which I'm sure people have done, because I've been to open houses where they're like, I don't know, I'm not the listing agent, I'm just the junior agent. And you're not gonna get a client that way. They're gonna remember that and be like, well, that guy knows nothing, I'm not gonna hire that person.
Michael, why are you laughing so
Michael,
hard
I can
back
tell, definitely does all these things because he's laughing at every comment I'm making, which is weird because Michael actually gets clients from open houses, but I bet you could get 18 sales.
In spite of himself.
Yeah. So run a CMA. Prepare at least like 1 or 2 comparables that are currently on the market as well. And I know Cameron talked about this at our Fired Up event Find out if there's other properties, maybe book some showings for after your open house. If anyone's at the open house, say, hey, there's actually 2 other properties. Why don't I take you to go see those afterwards? And of course, studying the market trends, because people are going to be asking you questions about what's going on in the neighborhood. So you don't want to look stupid by saying, I don't know. The sign-in sheets, again, you should have sign-in sheets, paper or digital, doesn't matter. The whole point is to collect contact information from these people. And then having engaging strategic questions. So if people are walking in, we should say, how long have you been looking for a home? That's gonna tell you if the person's actually ready. They could say, I've been looking for 12 months, or this is the first house I've stepped foot in. So it'll give you an idea if this is a serious client or not. You can say, what do you love about where you live now? It could tell you that they may have a house to sell, so you can engage a little bit more. What attracted you to this house? That's going to identify features to highlight when you're doing a follow-up for them. And those people that are saying they're just looking often just don't want to be sold, but they are interested. So these are actually sometimes the most the best leads are usually the ones that say, I'm just looking. So they don't want to show that they're really interested in the home. Maybe they got coached on that, something like that. Sometimes those are actually your most serious leads, or the ones that are like avoiding you the most. Other stuff, follow-ups. So after the open house, we should be doing an email or text message just thanking them for coming to the open house, ask them if they want to see similar properties. That's the day of the event. And then the following day, you should be following up again and just see if there's some other houses that you can take them to. So again, your whole goal is to try to find either buyer clients or seller clients from this. So these are all just simple strategies. And I think that's it for open houses. So hopefully you guys are doing all these things, right? Right, Michael? Right? Yeah, most of them.
Did you want to ask about an open house challenge? Do you want to do a survey?
Yeah, we're thinking about for April. I saw this thing on Instagram. There was a team in the US that had an open house challenge, and they did 100 open houses in 100 days. And they had like a giant board of open houses, and the agents got to check off as they did open houses and initial it. And then there's a winner at the end of it. We're thinking about bringing that in for April for you guys. That team actually took it a step further because it was such a successful challenge for their team. They ended up doing 1,000 open house challenge in 100 days. And not that you have to do 100 open houses, it's like a collective amongst all of you guys. So they were doing open houses during the week, on the weekends, and they were just seeing if they could get clients that way.
You just made me think of something else too.
I didn't say condos. There's houses out there.
Don't just think you can do open houses on the weekend. We had someone do it was a daytime public open house on a condo in Orangeville with no traffic, and she had 5 people come through. She put a sign at the bottom, which she had to ask for forgiveness later. Property manager said, oh, you're not allowed signs. She said, well, I was emailing you, you need to get back to me. So I put a sign there, and it worked because everybody coming through the building went straight up to her unit to go check it out. So it doesn't need to be Saturday, Sunday, 2 to 4. It could be during the week. It could be in the evening. It could be any time that you have free, that your listing's not getting any showings. You could host an open house and see what you can get, right?
Yeah. So we're probably going to do that challenge in April.
Let's do a survey. Do you guys want to do an open
like
house challenge? Like hands up and online, would you guys want to? No, man. What about online? Online people, open house challenge, 100 open houses in 100 days. We have 1, 2 contesters. That's not as many. 3.
We'll come up with a good prize for it. No one's responded. That's great.
Okay, there's some people that do open houses, so that'd be enough for me to do a challenge. 5 people.
Yeah.
Got 2.
All right, cool.
Curtis, 3.
Cool. Okay, so we'll probably do something like that. Whoever wants to participate for April.
Okay.
I guess it'll be 100 days, so it'll be like April, May, June. So the spring market. Yeah.
No.
No? You could do an hour, like a power hour open house on a Wednesday.
Yep.
Something crazy.
15 minutes open house.
15 minutes, like a speed open house. That'd be more fun, actually. Do as many open houses as you can.
You used to do that in Markham. And Newmarket. I guess in Newmarket they started. Craig Proctor used to do that. He used to have his open house weekend, right? And he would collect. Everybody's supposed to meet him at the first house. It'd be like open house weekend. 2 o'clock, this house.
Oh.
2:45, this house. 3 o'clock, this house. And the agents would go caravan with all the people that all go look at all these houses, like 3 or 4 at a time.
That'd be fun.
I assume all houses were similar price, similar style, similar.
Sure.
So you can almost do, like, let's say you had townhouses, right, in the same price range and the same geographic area, just do a caravan of open houses. Meet me at 1 o'clock on this property here, and then we'll go look at 4 other properties while we're there.
Yeah. Something to get creative with.
Something to think about.
Cool. So we'll give you guys some more details on
Hollywood
that.
tour. There you go.
Perfect. That's all I have for that. This Wednesday, we have Vonnie Fast coming in. She is, I will preface it, she works for Cutco, the knife company. So she will be selling, they're really good knives, by the way, because she sends me them every time she presents.
One of your brothers was doing that.
But she has a really
One of
good
your brothers told
presentation. She's done it for us in the past, and she talks all about how to build a referral program. So with your own with your own past clients, how to get more referrals from your past clients. So she does a really good presentation on how to stay in touch with your database, how to build a database. So it's not going to be about knives or gifts or anything like that, but because she's built such a successful business on network and referral marketing through selling knives. She teaches real estate agents how to do it as well. And she did this presentation a couple of years ago. It was really good. It's only going to be like a 20, 30-minute presentation. It's going to be on webinar at 10:30 a.m. on Wednesday. I encourage you guys to come to it. It's a really good presentation, and I think she gives away some knives at the end of it. They're really good. I don't know. I love
Katelyn
it.
is
It says
sold.
made for Katelyn. I'm sold on these knives. And then if you are looking for client gifts, it is a pretty good one that you guys can brand with yourself, get them made specifically for clients. But that's going to be happening on Wednesday.
Is she the knife booth at the convention?
So she speaks at Richard Robbins conferences every year. She's at Toronto Realtor Quest. She always has booths everywhere. This woman sells a lot.
Yeah, probably.
Yep. She speaks a lot. So she gets invited to speak a lot on referral networking.
She's got a good personality. She's
Great
really upbeat,
personality.
yeah.
So we're going to bring her in. Not in. She's in Calgary, I think. So she'll be presenting on Wednesday.
Are you recapping Ryan today, or no? That's for the people that came?
No.
Yeah.
Just last thing, is anybody playing around with AI? Anybody got any AI ideas?
We mean like high-level AI. When we see AI, we're done with ChatGPT. Okay, that should be like part of your daily practice. Like if you don't have the app and you're asking ChatGPT everything, that's like past now. We're talking like different tools for your business, like to help you be more efficient or to streamline stuff with your clients. Like
One thing that Gabe Greavesan's talking about with AI, if anybody's, some people are getting right into it there, but some people want it so that the AI computer talks to their clients and sends emails to their clients and interacts
Take
with their
over their
clients.
job,
And what they're basically saying here, be careful with AI because you're still the salesperson. It's just a tool. You yourself still have to sell yourself. You still can't hide behind this AI tool and make sure that it's correct. But if you're not using it, you should use it. You ask a question. I mean, hey, I got a listing presentation tonight. Here's a copy of the today's newspaper. What point should I bring up? It'll give you a whole list of bullet points or whatever you want, right? So it's very, very, very powerful.
After we asked it how to set up our house for like a trust, and, like the answers were actually really good.
yeah,
Really
Right.
good.
yeah.
So has anybody else used it for any marketing pieces at all, or
All the time.
no? Some people do. Okay, that's good. Brian, any words of wisdom for the mortgage market today?
Hold on tight.
Let's wish for Trump on April 2nd. I think April 2nd, we're going to find out more what's happening.
Yeah. So what do we do between now and April 2nd? Like no one's holding their breath, right? Like are we going to
keep prospecting.
keep moving on? Like right? Like yeah, keep prospecting. Tell your clients now's the best time to do something, right? Like we only know what we know today. We don't know what's going to happen in a couple
So
weeks.
the good thing about what's going on with all this confusion, I'm looking for Brian here to confirm what I'm saying here. The good thing about all the confusion is that it's affected the bond rates, and the bond rates have gone down, which affects your
Fixed rates.
your fixed mortgage rates.
Yeah.
So
Fixed rates have gone down.
So the fixed rate mortgage rates went down last week, without any of this stuff going on the weekend there. So it's good. And the so what are the best rates today then for fixed and variable?
On a variable, we're getting like a prime minus 70 to 80.
And prime being
4.95.
4.95.
Bank prime is 4.25. On a fixed, mid threes to low fours.
Mid threes, low fours for
Sorry, high threes to low fours.
high threes, low fours for variable, and fixed is give me a number.
No, fixed is
the other way around.
low fours.
Other way around.
Yeah.
So fixed is between high threes to low fours.
Fixed high
Fixed.
threes, low fours.
Low fours. And variable prime minus 70, so 4.25, 4.3.
So variable's still higher than fixed, then, right?
That's good.
Yeah.
Because of the
But one more rate.
because of the bond rates, right?
Yeah.
What are you recommending for like people who are renewing like in the next 30 days?
Variable.
Variable.
People renewing, they're recommending variable. For
So there-
3 or for 5 years?
Most of the banks do
Doesn't matter.
5-year variable.
5, yeah.
Just convert it.
For those people at home,
It's convert. Right?
Yeah.
people at home, the variable rate's the one that seems to be the flavor right now.
Again, I think it depends on your client and how risk
risk
averse they are.
averse
You know,
they
they might want to know
Someone
what their budget
prepare.
is every month and just plan for it. And fix would be good for someone like that. Exactly.
They don't want to take a risk.
So it's all relative too. If they're just getting into the market, they didn't buy 2020. They don't know how much it's changed, right?
3% in a few more months, ride the variable, and lock in at 3%, right? That's the gamble.
It's a gamble, like
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah, so if you're not a
to, like,
gambler,
low threes?
yeah, I don't know if
Not
I am
everyone's a
yet.
gambler.
Yeah.
Anyone want to go to the casino?
Fix, yeah, because you have probably risk averse people that want to calculate what they owe every month.
They know what their
You wanna-
payments are every month from
what-
work,
what
and
else,
they
sir?
want.
He's saying a lot of his clients are just going fixed.
But this is what happened because last year they renewed on a fixed rate at 1 year at 6.24. They could have took a variable and they could have fixed the same
Yeah.
thing at 399 right now.
I think people are nervous though for when it does go down. And then what if in 2 years it goes back up, and then they're like freaked out about that.
So Alex, who went to fixed rate? What type of person went to fixed rate? No, like
Like young,
what's their
old,
job?
first time buyers, second time buyers, refinance,
renewals.
refinance, renewal. So they got burnt and they want to go fixed.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what I was
Yeah.
thinking.
Yeah.
They got burnt.
So
Yeah, that
and,
makes
and there's
sense.
no right answer because we don't know the future. So
Yeah.
They got burnt.
What else they can afford?
I know the future. But I'm just not telling you.
I know in 100 years none of us will be here.
So no holidays or anything weird. We're all here
Still got
Wednesday and then Monday.
Ramadan.
And then- yeah, Ramadan. But, yeah. Okay.
Brandon and I are going to Black Dog after if anyone wants to.
Okay, that's fair.
St. Patty's
I'm
Oh
coming
yeah,
too.
it's St. Patty's Day today.
All right, we're all going. Let's all go
Green
for
beer.
green beer,
Green beer.
at Black Dog Pub. Anything anyone wants to talk about? Any listings? Anything online that people asked about? Or yeah, Curtis.
Well, we just got a handful of like condo listings north
Okay.
of downtown for sale and rent. Anyone has any of those clients, first-time buyers, people looking to upsize, it'd be easy to work with us. But yeah, it's
Okay,
not-
Yim team has a lot of condos for lease and for sale, and to contact Curtis, and they're willing to negotiate. They're all motivated. people.
Motivated sellers.
Yim teams are also motivated.
this weekend.
It's cute. Not real estate related, but yeah.
It is.
That was nice, Curtis. I saw on Instagram. You can summarize it. Come
Well,
talk
I'm
loud into
interested
Claire's
in,
speaker.
In doing charity work. We went out to just make sandwiches and hand out to homeless people. So if you're down, like we're looking to do this more, I guess, consistently.
That's really nice. For those online, Curtis and a group got together to make some sandwiches for homeless people in Toronto.
500 sandwiches.
You made a lot. There was cases and cases of
Sorry,
sandwiches.
250 and then cut them in half, so 500 people.
Cool.
Yeah, and water. And
Where did
stuff.
you take them?
Prime locations downtown, Moss Park.
So you just went to the piece. So
They
you,
went-
We went
set
to
up.
like the pockets where we know they're
so you went to right to the individuals, not to an agency.
not to the agency.
Oh, nice.
And what was the feedback? Were they
They were
gracious or
hungry.
yeah? That's really nice of you.
But it was
That's-
interesting because Moss Park, that was lots of people.
Yeah.
But once we went to the west end,
Yeah,
they were like no one to be found.
totally.
Oh.
I
Yeah,
was like, oh, nice and cleaned up, I guess.
it's a good message for the team. If you're not busy and you're not prospecting, but you want to do something good for the world, there's lots of people that are way more hard off
And
than
this
we
was a
are.
great way
So.
for me to connect with
For
other
sure.
people that want to do charity work. And
Yeah.
potential
Like-minded people.
Like-minded people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's awesome.
Something to do.
Good on you, man.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
awesome. Cool.
But condos, anyone?
Condos, yeah.
Those sandwiches are great.
But those condos are still available. So.
Good one.
That's funny.
Cool. Okay, well, have a good week, everybody. We'll see you Wednesday and then Monday again.